Continuing. So it says, these methods have worked on my mom's plantation in the West Indies, and it will work throughout the South. Take this simple list of differences and think about them. On the top of my list is age. So these are some of the things that they use as differences to bring about chaos and whatnot. So he said one of the differences that they use is age, right? And why age, right? Because when you use age, you got to understand when you remove the lack of respect for the elders, right? You remove that lack of respect for the elders, then you have the youth that ain't listening to the elders no more. So therefore, they're not listening to any type of wisdom. They're not listening to no type of knowledge or nothing, right? So one of the first things that they use is age, right? The young against the old. The young against the old. The young today, they don't even want to listen, right? We ain't listening. We ain't listening. Man, you can't tell me I'm that old, dude. Man, you can't tell me nothing, right? So that's one of the differences. But it's there only because it stands with an A for age. The second is color or shade. So they use color to bring about difference. Okay? Then there is shade, there is intelligence. Intelligence, size. So I'm going to just read these off, man. There's a bunch of them. I'm not going to write them all down, but you guys can write it down. It says they use all of these differences to bring about chaos, right? The first is age. Then they use your color. Then they use intelligence, right? Who's smart, who's not. Then they use your size, right? Who's small, skinny. Then they use your sex, right? The size of your plantation. The status of your plantation, right? The slaves, they used to brag and boast like, yeah, my master, he got the biggest plantation on the South, right? So they used to brag and boast about what plantation they was on, right? So they thought it was a badge of honor to be on a big plantation that had more slaves on it than a regular plantation. They just try to find anything to make themselves better than the next person. Crazy, right? So the status of the plantations, the attitude of the owners, right? Whether the slaves live in the valley or on the hill, the east, west, north, south. How fine hair they got, the coarse of hair. How tall or short. Now that you have a list of differences, I shall give you an outline of action. But before that, I shall assure you that distrust is stronger than trust. Distrust is stronger than trust. And envy is stronger than adulation, respect, or admiration. So he's telling you, use all of these things, man, they're powerful. The black slave, after receiving this indoctrination, shall carry on and will become a self-refueling and self-generating for hundreds of years. So they said once you implement this program, and after they've been indoctrinated with it, that this will be a self-refueling, a self-generating process that will go on for generation to generation because it's going to be transferred. If you follow this particular method and you upload it, you know what I'm saying, properly. Right? This is this dude talking. Okay?
Good. What are you folks doing here today?
This is Memorial Day in North Carolina.
Oh, is it? Okay.
What you doing here today?
I'm just hanging out. Just filming. Actually, I'm from near Chicago, believe it or not.
That's exactly. Oh, how are you in trouble? Man, I guess I shouldn't talk too bad because, you know, in New York, y'all did have a mighty fine mayor who wanted to succeed and continue doing business with the South-EW. So there's a few smart ones up that round that day, but today is Confederate Memorial Day. To give up what they owe. You know, he owe a lot down around here anyway, don't he? Yeah.
What do I owe?
You owe all that stealing that y'all did.
Stealing?
You don't remember.
I wasn't around.
You know a little history, don't you?
I know history, yeah.
Well, you know y'all did a lot of stealing with Abraham Lincoln's General Order number 200. You go look it up. You know, come down south, rape, rob, kill, steal, Do everything you want to and never be accountable for what you do. Now, don't act like you don't know no history. Today is Confederate Memorial Day. Okay? So we teach them a little history. We ain't gonna put you out as long as you act Southern.
So when I act Southern,
what you do, but we try to be a carpetbagger. And when you go back north, tell them, folks, we don't appreciate these people running around here taking down our monuments and pulling down our flags and things. And we're here today to honor those fallen heroes.
The black slave, after receiving indoctrination, shall carry on and will become self-refueling and self-generating for hundreds of years, maybe even thousands of years. Don't forget, you must pitch the old black male versus the young black male, and the young black male against the old black male. You must use the dark-skinned slave versus the light-skinned slave, and the light-skinned slave against the dark-skinned slave. You must use the female versus the male, and the male versus the female. So now they got us fighting with each other. These are the things that they're using right now. Right? The women hate the man hate him with F-U-B. You ain't nothing. You a piece of booby. You ain't nothing. We arguing to fight. That's what they did. We arguing to fight with one another. How can we be a family? How can we be a strong, thriving African-American family or minority or people of minority and have a thriving family when the husband and the wife, they arguing at each other? They yelling at each other. They fight. They don't even like each other. You no good. Oh, you be. Well, we have no respect for each other. How can we be fruitful for our children? What type of example can we show them? We can't show them a good example, right? Because, man, the example that we show them, man, is dysfunctional. Why? Because we distrust, we have envy, and we don't even like each other. We put the male against the female against the female. You feel the male against the female against the male, right? And that even goes into the AFDC and social service and all that, which we're going to get into. You know what I mean? When they turn the woman against the man, and they make the woman think that she's the man, right? And take away, you know what I'm saying, all the manhood of the man by putting them checks in the woman's hand, and she bites. Where I don't need no man, because master's your man now. It goes back to the plantation psychosis, go back to the slavery, right? Right? They didn't have the man, we didn't have no self-worth for the plantation. So therefore they start, man, well, John, master treat me nice, master give me good food, master give me nice clothes. What you done for me? Like you sitting over there in the corner scared while master over there raping every night. You can't even do nothing. So now she got a hate for her husband. She got a hate for the black man. Huh? Which is transferred down a pattern, self-hate, no self-worth. She has no self-worth for the black man. This is something that's been carried down. Right? And women have it. You feel me? But if you don't believe that you got it, if you don't believe that you ain't got it, then guess what? You ain't going to be cured. How about that one? Okay, let's finish this out. We almost done. So again, it says maybe 1,000. Don't forget, you must pitch the old black male versus the young black male, and the young black male against the old black male. You must use the dark-skinned slave versus the light-skinned slave. Remember, we went through that period, light-skinned, dark-skinned. So all the brothers that we was dark-skinned, we felt like we was ugly because all the light-skins and all that, you know what I'm saying, Albie Shore and all that old stuff. Remember that? But then Tupac came. It was on. Anyway. So you must use the dark-skinned slave versus the light-skinned slave, and the light-skinned slave against the dark-skinned slave. You must use the female versus the male, and the male versus the female. You must also have your overseers and servants distrust all blacks. So even the blacks that they use to be overseers and servants, you must have them mistrust blacks too. Don't trust no nigger. So now you got so-called niggas being told don't trust niggas. Okay? And this is something that they inculcated, man, very slick. We hate each other. But if necessary that your slaves trust and depend, but it is necessary that we make the slave trust and depend on us. Mistrust their own people, but trust and depend on us. Right? So remove any type of manhood from the man. Now you don't like him, you don't trust him, you don't believe in him, right? But now put all the trust, right? All the admiration, right? Put all the dependence, right? On massa, on AFDC, on social service, on stimulus, because we doing all of this, they doing all this, right? So therefore, what I need a man for, right? It's in my name. What I need a man for. But you don't understand that this has been systematically placed in place for a specific reason? Huh? It's for a reason. And we all bit. The women bit. I got money. Well, shoot. Man, I'm pretty. Man, so now it's all about, man, it goes back to slavery days, which inshallah we'll talk about, inshallah. We'll continue this, man, and then we'll conclude, inshallah. So again, it says, but it is necessary that your slaves trust and depend on us. They must love, respect, and trust only us. They love master, trust master, only us. Man, to the point, man, we calling the police on our husbands. One officer call 911. You calling master to come get your husband, to put him in jail, maybe even hell, maybe even hang him. Man, you put him back into plantation. That's how warped we are, right? We love master so much. We have become dependent on master so much that they inculcated in our mind, man, if that Negro don't act like you want him to act, you just call us at 911, we'll come pick his black butt up. Yes, ma'am, and we'll keep giving you checks and everything. Just do what we need you to do. But call that black man in, and we'll come pick him right up and take him right away from you. Yes, sir. Don't worry about it. Yes, sir. Your checks will still be there. Yes, they will. You must also have your overseas and service distrust all black, but if necessary, your slaves must trust and depend on us. They must love, respect, and trust only us. Gentlemen, these kits are your keys to control. Gentlemen, these kits are keys to your control. Use them. Have your wives and your children use them. Never miss an opportunity to use them. If used intensely for 1 year, the slaves themselves will remain perpetually distrustful. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you for this time. That was his speech. Okay, we're going to stop there. And when we start back next week, we're going to go into some of the things that to use and how to use it and whatnot. But this is just an introduction into what we're talking about, what was done to us, how it was done to us, and man, we're going to get into the schematics of it and how we can break this, man. Inshallah. Okay, so let's go through this again, man. You know, we're just talking about the Plantation, you know, Willie Lynch, you know, psychosis and whatnot. You know, we talked about this is a mental derangement, a defectiveness, a loss of contact, a reality, whatnot, to the point that we've been systematically jacked up that we don't even know what the hell is going on anymore. We don't know what the reality is. We don't understand our self-worth. We hate ourselves. We don't even understand why we hate ourselves. We don't understand why we so quick to kill someone that looks just like us. We so quick to maim, shoot, right? But yet when it comes to any other thing that looks different than us, you know what I'm saying? We want to hesitate. We want to have peace. We'll make treaties and all of this. There's a book we're going to get into next week. And inshallah, those who can go on Google and all that stuff, there's a book. It's by a black psychiatrist, right? And the name of the book is called Menticide. 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 Okay? The name of the book is called Menticide. Right? Mental. The root word is mental. Menticide, which means you have a mental suicide. You are mentally suiciding yourself. And it's by a black psychiatrist named Bobby Wright. Bobby Wright. Okay, I read this book many years ago. And he talks about the mental and systematic derangements of the African American, that we have a disease that is called menticide, where it's a mental suicide, where we have been programmed to kill only and hate only things that look like us. So therefore, we'll be quick to kill ourselves or anything that looks like us, but anything that does not look like us, we will be hesitant to kill it. So menticide, we have a mental suicide where we want to kill ourselves mentally. Okay? Bobby Wright, Menticide, Mental Suicide by Bobby Wright, black psychiatrist, look it up. Okay? So again, we're going over the Willie Lynch papers, Plantation, Psychosis. We're learning a little bit about some of the things that were done to us and some of the things that caused us to be in the predicaments that we're in. We're learning that these things can cause a disease. And with this disease, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that the Quran is the cure for these diseases. So, but in order to understand or to be cured from these diseases, you must first admit or understand that you have a disease. You know, so that's where we're at. We admitting that we have a disease. We admit that we're in a society that there's a lot of decadence. So with that, man, we're striving to find out how to get the cure. So Allah said, this is the cure. Okay, so this is where we at. Tawheed movement, a betterment of ourselves, betterment of our lives, betterment of our children. You know, striving to do the right thing. Inshallah. Any questions or anything that we talked about today? Okay. Again, inshallah, we'll continue next week. It'll either be Saturday or Sunday, inshallah. The intent is to come about with 2 classes on Saturday and Sunday. Okay? I wanted to have one class dealing with like what we're dealing right now, or Quran, Hadith, Tafsir, whatnot, and then another class specifically for Arabic. You know what I'm saying? So one day will be, you know, Quran, Hadith, Tafsir, Plantation, Psychosis, whatever it may be, Islamic, African studies, whatever it may be. But then the other day will be specifically for Arabic. You know, those who want to be beginning Arabic, who want to learn the alphabet, those who want to learn Tajweed, those who want to learn memorization, whatever it may be, we're going to learn Arabic. Okay, we're going to step our game up, shut these lanes up, right? Arabic is the key, right? It's the language. You know what I'm saying? So if we want to go deeper into our deen and deeper into what it is that, you know, Allah is telling us to do, then we got to try to, you know what I'm saying, delve into the Arabic. No, we may not be scholars and whatnot. You ain't got to be a scholar. But at least make that conscious decision to make a step towards learning Arabic so you can open up some other doors. Inshallah. No questions? Okay, if not, we're going to close out, inshallah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك وأشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك آمين والحمد لله رب العالمين. If you guys want, we can make salat before y'all leave, or you guys can leave, or make salat. Okay. Brother, you want to make a gun?
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمد رسول الله. أشهد أن محمد رسول الله. حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح. الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله. الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمد رسول الله. حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح. قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة. الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. Stole with the assault, ankle to ankle, shoulder to shoulder, ankle to ankle, shoulder to shoulder. Now we got the shaitan, make it tight. Make the ankles touch. There you go. Make the ankles touch with the brother. Allahu Akbar. Tawheed. Tawheed.